Welcome to Ronnie Neurosciences, and today we are going to discuss about the neuromuscular junction. The neuromuscular junction is the junction or space between neuron and the muscle and all components of it. So we have here the neuron with myelin, some Schwann cells, and here is the terminal bulbs or the end bulbs. The neuron will generate an action potential which will then propagate and send signal to the muscle. So around here we have the muscle. The neuron and muscle not actually connected. There is a small gap between them. The neuron then pass on action potential to the muscles by releasing chemicals called neurotransmitters. And neurotransmitters can be inhibitory or excitatory. We will focus on excitatory neurotransmitters. Let us zoom into these bulbs to look how a neuromuscular junction operates. So here we have an end bulb. This is the simplified diagram, and on the other side we have muscle, and these two both are separated by a very small gap. These channels here on the muscle are called ligand sodium gated channels, and its name suggests it's for sodium ions, and on neuron we have calcium voltage gated channels. It is important to know that some ions are found predominantly on outside of these cells. In this case, the higher concentration of sodium and calcium ions on outside with respect to inside of muscle and neuron. Both these calcium and sodium ions, however, want to go inside these cells but are blocked by these channels, including the calcium voltage gated channels. Now normally the vesicles situated in the neuron and bulbs, they contain many neurotransmitter for skeletal muscle contraction. The excitatory neurotransmitter is called acetylcholine. So these red dots are acetylcholine. At rest, the inside of neuron is negative with respect to outside, but when action potential arises, at end bulbs, it will change the inside to become more positive. So action potential arrives inside, turns positive. This change in charge will then open up the calcium gated channel and allowing calcium ions to come inside the neuron from outside. So calcium influx, now calcium going in makes the end bulbs even more positive, so causes these vesicles containing acetylcholine to release its content out. These vesicles are releasing acetylcholine into the synaptic cleft or neuromuscular junction. Acetylcholine will then bind up to the ligand sodium gated channels on muscles. These acetylcholine molecules then bind to the ligand gated sodium channels on muscle, which will cause the channel on muscle to open up. The open channel cause influx of sodium ions to go inside the muscle fibers. So from higher concentration move to the muscle, so influx of sodium inside will generate an action potential, muscle action potential within the muscle fiber, which essentially cause muscle contraction. Hope you got that. Now let's see what will happen after contraction, shall we? So here once again we have the neuron, the end bulb, the voltage gated channels, calcium and sodium channels here on muscle fiber, and moving onwards. So after contraction has finished, acetylcholine will detach these are the sodium gated channels, and after contraction finished, acetylcholine will detach from the sodium gated channels and move back into the synaptic cleft with different transport mechanism. So we here got acetylcholine moving out And now a special enzyme, a very special enzyme called acetylcholinesterase. This enzyme, acetylcholinesterase, will break down acetylcholine. So here we have acetylcholinesterase and here is acetylcholine. The enzyme break acetylcholine in two molecules, choline and acetate. So the enzyme does this in synaptic cleft. Choline can be recycled again and combined with acetylcholine to make up new acetylcholine. So this process keeps going. Hope you got that. This is the neuromuscular junction. Thank